guys, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Ro.
Put your arms around me, put your faith in me, put your love on me. Your love, your love, your love, your love, your love.
So today I have a story time for you guys. Also, I'm gonna be folding some clothes, like my laundry. Gonna get everything done mom style. So here goes nothing. Now this is a story that I've been compelled to tell, not so much because I want to get everything out there about my life now, but because really it's for me, it's a stepping stone in my journey of life and forgiveness. No, it was 5 years ago, so that was 2015. It was a week before club match, exactly a week before club match too. Now if you know club match is real live in Bermuda. It's the best holiday. We could argue in the comments. Never. I used to make 6 o'clock in the morning to work. That was a normal day for me. So it was busy season. Club match time is always busy, and summer period in the hospitality industry. So that morning I made 6 a.m. to work. Usually if you make 6 o'clock, they ask you to knock off at 2 o'clock, or you be scheduled to knock off at 2 o'clock. But this day they asked me to knock off at 5, and I was like, all right, cool. Did it. So I bust my tail my whole shift, and I knocked off at 5. Upon knocking off, my best friend at the time, she was just like, oh, let's go Harbor Nights. So if you're not Bermudian, Harbor Nights is a Bermudian street festival on Front Street, and it's like a local vendors, entertainment, food, all that. So I dashed home after work, and I got myself ready, and I left. I wasn't even home for long. I just left, and then I rode my bike on. Cool. So I park up. We guys go Harbor Nights and everything. Harbor Nights is finished, done. So we're like, okay, let's go get some food and some drinks. So we go to beach, and beach is right on the strip where Harbor Nights was. So it turned into night. We guys got some food, and we guys are sitting off at beach. So a lot of my colleagues that I worked with at the time, they came through after they knocked off from work. That was like a usual thing. Like if you worked at the hotel, you would knock off, and you would go get drinks if you feel like it, or go hang out if it's that type of night. So that's what guys were doing. They came through, and because my friend, she worked in hospitality as well, so everybody kind of just knows each other in Bermuda anyway, but she knew my colleagues well. So we guys all like set off, we just having drinks, we start shutting. The beach, it flips from a restaurant, and then when it gets a certain time, it turns into a nightclub. So it was real nice. I wasn't like sloppy drunk, but I was tapped, like I was having a good time. Till to this day, I see one of the security guards that worked there. We danced together. It was just one of those late nights. You just it wasn't like, oh, I like you, you like me. It was just a dance, like. And that was the thing too, back then, especially in college. Not so much now, like I was in relationships, I'm married, child, and all that there. You could dance with somebody and not really like them, or not really even have no intentions of being with them. And that's what I used to like about going out in Bermuda. I seen some friends from high school in the spot. A guy that I used to like in high school was in the spot too. So it was nice. Like, we guys all was having a good time. I remember parking at City Hall. So when I got back up to my bike, my colleagues were saying, oh, you're not getting on your bike. We're taking your keys. And these were like older brothers. Like they're all in their 20s and stuff. And mind you, I was 19 at the time. So I'm pretty still new to the road, because I didn't have a bike when I was 16. So I got my bike license when I was damn near 18, and I only started riding when I was 19. So I remember getting back to my bike, and they're just really trying to convince me to not get on my bike. Don't get on your bike, girl. You're drunk. You're drunk. You're drunk. And I'm saying, none of you lot's gonna drop me work tomorrow. And where I lived at the time, ironically, I kind of live right across from where I used to live at the time. I lived at the end of the island. Literally, I went at the center of the island. So it's a long ride home for me, especially being, intoxicated. But I was really adamant about not leaving my bike because I had no way to work. I mean, I could have called a taxi, but who's ordering like a $60 taxi when I could just ride my bike like for free? And I'm not catching a bus, because if you know what the buses are, they're not that frequent. You gotta catch like 3 buses to get where I'm going, and then you gotta walk a ways to get to my destination. I wasn't hearing it. My friend, she was the wise one at the time. She was like, you know what? I'm gonna get in this car. I'm like, yo, you came with me. Like, are you serious? I was low-key mad, but like, I'm thinking back, like, she was smart. So they're like, okay, well, if you ain't gonna get in our car, we're gonna just follow you all the way until we have to veer off. And mind you, they would have ridden behind me, and then I would have had to ride the rest of my way home. I still had a long ways to go. I'm just like, okay, cool. And my mind was like, okay, I need to stick around somewhere so that I can sober up some and then ride home. That was my smart logic. So they're starting to follow me. We pull out of the City Hall gate. So when we got to the traffic light, I sped up. And I dipped back off to Front Street, like where my friends from high school were. With the guys, like always a boy involved. So by this time, when I get back to Front Street, they're kind of like on the street above Front Street, like that's parallel to Front Street. So we're sitting up and we're just talking and sitting off. I'm like, all right, cool. I can sober up a bit. And then, of course, my ace boy was like, oh, okay, after party at my house. He was like a really party guy, and he's the only one in high school that had his own apartment. Mind you, it was like connected to his actual house, but like he had some type of freedom because he had his own apartment. So it was cool to always, like, everybody used to always just go up his house and ride. We guys go up his house, so we're just all just sitting there and just, vibing. And then his mom came through and it's like, guys, you see what time it is? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. No. You guys need to go home. She kicked us out. So, I leave with the guy that I used to like, and he was like, you know what? We should just go chill across the street. So I was like, alright, cool. Across the street was like a little park area. No, and I'm gonna repeat, no. We wasn't doing darkness. And I'm being like completely transparent at this point. I ain't got nothing to lie about. I didn't even have to mention this part. I'm not trying to make myself look goody. No. We was not doing nothing. My friend that I was with that night, she said, yo, did you make it home okay? So, I don't remember answering her because I remember being like real salty at the fact that like you came with me and you left with those guys to fend for myself. Listen, and her mom at the time lived in my neighborhood, so I was like, listen, I could take you to your mom's house. So that's how I was feeling. So I don't remember answering her, and then we're talking a little bit more, and then I remember my mom hitting me up. And she was just like, Rashina, do you see what time it is? Don't you have work tomorrow? Where are you? And I was like, even though I'm 19, I'm technically an adult. You always just respect your mama. And how she, you know, how she wants you to come home at a certain time and all of that. Mind you, I didn't have curfew, but like she expected me to do the right thing. So at this time I was like, okay, I'm gonna go, like I'm gonna head out. My mom's hitting me up, and I look at the time, it's like at least, it's like 5:30, 6 o'clock, something like crazy hour. And I'm like, yo, like I gotta go. So I get on my bike, and by this time I'm like practically sober. But if you think about it, I've been up for 24 hours now. Since yesterday I've been going, had a long shift, been harbor nights, been beach, got tat, been, you know, my boys' yard. Now I'm at this park, and then, you know, gotta still ride home. And mind you, my house was that way. I went that way. Anything. Yeah, so I'm on my way home. I just remember like riding and saying, I need to get home, I need to get home. Which way should I go? I don't know. I just remember saying, don't go Double Hill, because nobody's gonna find you if I get in an accident. I don't know if I jinxed myself or what, like. And even that, 2 weeks before, I was saying I've never gotten in an accident by myself. I merely went down on, you know, the back of people's bikes before. Anyways, so I ended up going Double Hill anyway, because I used to take Double Hill every day. I knew the roads like nothing. I was able to just dip, and it was quicker, mind you. So I got through Double Hill. I think the last place I remember riding around was right after Napton Hill. Then I just remember dreaming. I had an art dream, because at the time I was in art school, and I just remember like being really anxious. I always talk about like being anxious about art, only because like I know I'm an artist, I know I'm very creative, but in visual art was like hard for me, because I didn't think I was that good. Having this dream, it was all these, I remember drawing an actual picture, not drawing a picture, but creating a picture afterwards, like a digital art piece. I remember just seeing like, I remember like the picture moving like a reel, like a camera reel, and then it was like black and white figures, and there's like, they had all these different poses. I didn't know what it meant, but like it was what it was. So yeah, I woke up. I'm filming. Yeah, I love you.
You too.
It's nice to see that your helmet and everything.
Yeah, I got some herbs.
He said that all anything.
Psych!
Yeah, so where was I? Right. So I'm having this art dream, and I'm like, what does this mean? What does this mean?
You see my phone?
No, I haven't. So I'm having this art dream, and then I wake up finally. And I wake up, and all I see is white. No, I see doctors. I heard beeping. I look down. I see needles coming out of my wrist, needles coming out of my forearm, needles coming out of my nose. I felt it. I had a catheter. I had needles right here. Like needles in every which way possible. When I say that was the scariest, it was so terrifying. I was just like, the first thing I thought, I was like, I know I didn't get on. Like I had, like that's the only reason I'm hurt. I went on. Oh my gosh. And I think I saw my mom. And I was just like, what is going on? I tried to say something, and I realized I couldn't speak. Then I realized I couldn't move. You know, but I still had to keep it calm. Like I kept calm because I knew that I had to have gotten in an accident. And once the nurse realized that I was up, she tells me, she's like, "Hi Rashina, you've been in an accident and you're in ICU. You broken bones. You have a wire in your mouth. You shattered your ribs. You shattered your jaw. You shattered your teeth from my nose down to about right here was shattered. But you didn't break your collarbone, and I don't know how you didn't, but you didn't." And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm still trying to talk, and then I realized my mouth is just tight. And I had a trach coming out my neck. What? I started sign language. My mom was like, "You doing sign language? Like, you know sign language? Like, when did you learn sign language?" I did sign language class for 1 day in middle school. 1 day, and I just retained. I just picked it up. They was playing gospel music, and I just started moving my arms. She's like, "What are you doing?" So I could just mumble what I wanted to say without like moving my mouth, and I was like, "I'm dancing," like just like that without moving my mouth. "I'm dancing." She's like, "Wow, you're dancing, and you almost just lost your life." I'll tell you a little backstory about what I was going through at the time. I was just going through so much. Like, I was feeling like a lot of pressure. I was in school. I was working full time. I was getting into mischief. And I was just doing a whole bunch of stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing. You know, because I just felt like, oh, I'm just so grown. I'm got my own money. I've got my own trance now. My own job. Like, you can't tell me nothing. And honestly, in that very moment, it was just clear to me. I was like, yo, I could have died, and I would have never known I died. I want you to let that sink in. I don't remember anything physically about the accident, and I'm kind of glad, because who wants to remember such trauma? Like, recently, I really tried to picture it and remember it, and I just remember tasting rubble in my mouth. Like, I ate pavement. Like, I really ate pavement. And that just scares me the most. Because, like, if I would have remembered that, imagine how fearful I would probably be. They found my jaw in the road. They found my jaw in the road. Let that sink in. I have my jaw over there. I still have it. And my mom at the time, she was such a soldier, man. She made sure that none of that stuff got out to protect me. Really, I blew up like a balloon. Like you wouldn't even understand the trauma I've been through. The few people that my mom allowed in that bedroom, in that hospital room, was there to uplift me, was there to not be emotional for my sake. She's actually passed now, but those are the moments that I really cherish. I'm kind of getting like teary because I don't really talk about this. Like, it's something that I wanted to just get out there, because I feel like when I'm talking in general, like face to face with somebody, and they don't know my story, they could look at me and they be like, why is her mouth like that? Or why is her teeth like that? This is why. Like, been through some hard. On top of that, I had to stay in the hospital. So I was in ICU for about 3 days. I woke up, I don't know if I said it, but I woke up and it was Sunday. Sunday, bro. I went in there on a Wednesday. I knew. It was Thursday morning. First thing Thursday morning. And when they found me, and I'm so lucky because the person that found me, he was actually a first responder. He was a firefighter. But he was off duty, and he knew my mom. So he obviously called the ambulance first. Then he called my mama personally and said, you know what? Don't get alarmed. It's been an accident and Rashina is in the hospital. Come. Before all of this happened, I was like really social and I was in my zone. You know, I was just starting to love myself. I realized that I was like beautiful, because for a long time I didn't think so. People used to be like, oh, you have big eyes, big lips, and my teeth have never been perfect. So to be like, oh, you have big teeth, or this and the other. I just started to come into myself. And then I started to get arrogant. And then I was out every night that week that I got into the accident. And I want to say like 2 weeks before that, I have just gotten into my first fight. I just felt like God was just telling me like, yo, slow down. You ain't hot like that. Or you are hot like that, but you need to learn your lesson. Shut up. I really felt like God was telling me to shut up. I was just doing too much and I just needed to slow down. And this whole incident really slowed me down. Like, I just remember saying like, wow, like I'm really blessed. Alan Federer, he was my general manager at the time. And a little old me got into an accident. Everybody in the hotel heard about it. And my general manager went and bought me an iPad. The newest iPad at the time. And a $50 gift card for iTunes. So when I say so blessed, I cannot express how blessed I am. They had to cut out a small piece of my hair right here, and they had to check if I had brain damage. I have no brain damage. What? Mind you, I had to get surgery on my face. I went back to art school for my last year. I had a patch covering my throat because I had a hole in my throat. I got my degree. I had wires in my mouth. Could not talk. Could not brush my teeth. Imagine not being able to brush your teeth for 5 months. I couldn't eat nothing for 5 months. I remember they told me in the hospital, if I didn't have faux locks in my head, that I would have gotten brain damage. I did my first faux locks like 2 days before. It took me all weekend. My mom's friend bought me a NutriBullet and I had to blend everything. I blended anything and everything you could think of. I blended ramen noodles. Yuck. It is disgusting. I blended a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I really started to get desperate because I was like, yo, I want food. Like, I got into a serious depression, like, because you need food. Like, you can't just be eating smoothies. I'll tell you what's the best thing to eat blended. Of course, mashed potatoes. Spaghetti and meat sauce was the best. Never again will I try Mr. Chicken, like fried chicken and fries and all that there. That is disgusting. I cried because it smelled so good and tasted like, it was just such a rough patch for me. And I got super skinny. It does really just put life into a perspective for me. I'm still paying for it till this day. Like, I want to get my teeth done. And based off of how my mouth is set up right now and how everything is shifted, I feel like I hit this side of my mouth. I feel like I hit it and it kind of like ricocheted through my whole mouth. But I still go to like appointments very often, and it's 5 years later. So if anybody wants to take something from this story, don't drink and ride. It's not worth it. I was like immobile. I had to learn how to walk again, talk again, how to eat again, to smile again, to feel confident again. Nah, he knows got the whole jaw piece. Oh wait. Mind you, it's not like everything. It's like just this piece. So they said my jaw just came off clean like that. So I just had they didn't even have to cut into my face. It just came off from my hair. It's the story of when I broke my jaw and Emma's died at 19, and I am still paying for it now. I still have work to get done on my teeth. Don't drink and drive, guys. Don't drink and ride. Don't ride while you're exhausted. Get your rest. Listen to your friends when they have sound advice. I know you might feel, stubborn and all of that, like you could do it all. You can't. And all of that, what I really learned is how to slow down, love yourself. I've learned endurance. So just be safe out in these streets, Guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that notification bell. You know what to do. I ain't gotta tell you every time. Yeah, man. It's your girl Ro once again. And I'll see you in the next. Alright? Well, check it later. Kanye West, Through the Wire, was my theme song. And I didn't really listen to it until after the accident. But yeah, that song right there it was just so clear after that. It could be so much worse. So I'm thankful every day. Every day I acknowledge my blessings. Like every day.